Welcome back to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich. It's the new year and we're here for the Castrol New Year Series. But we've also got for you a brand new show in the form of Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. Well, the feature of the first round of the Castrol New Year Series, as always, is top Doorslammers. Last year it was a clean sweep all the way through for Victor Bray, but, well, Victor, this year, Scotty Canon 2, Victor 1. Can you level it up today?
Well, we'll be trying our hardest, obviously. Boys, is he a hard nut to crack? We're over in Perth there, come straight off the trailer around a 6:30 and took the track record on his first burn down there, and he's pretty much done the same ever since. I took one off him down in Calder Park in Melbourne, and we're looking to take this one off him today too, but as he just demonstrated on the qualifiers there, he ain't going to just let it have us. We're going to have to work for this one, I can tell you.
Well, it's been tough all the way. Paul Casos is over in the American pit now. How's the vibes over there, Paul?
Scotty Canon's pretty busy down here in the pits at the moment, signing plenty of autographs. You know, I think he's got the national record in sight tonight. The national record's a 6:28. The world record's a 6:24. Scotty, can you go that quick tonight?
Well, we went a 44 in the heat just now, warm-up we call it. I think the car it would run 30 in the heat. I'm pretty sure I got the power, so if the air comes around at Willowbank like they say it does, as you know, Victor set the world record here, I think last year with the air real good, so pretty sure we got it in the car if everything works good.
The Superformance Top Doorslammers aren't the only international competition today. There's also the Travel Air Tours Jet Challenge. Tanya Campbell's got the story.
Well, there is no more prouder or patriotic Australian than our own land speed record holder, Rosco McGlashen. Now, Rosco's taking a short break away from his world record attempt to be with us tonight and be part of the Jet Dragster Challenge. Rosco, I believe that you'll take any chance to have a go at the Yanks.
Yeah, well, the opportunity came up, Tanya, and I thought, well, these bloody tourists come over here all the time. I thought it was about time that we put them back in place, so we'll be doing our best.
Also on today's show, we'll be seeing plenty of supercharged action from the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp category. And the sedan versus open vehicle battles will continue in Headsense Super Comp Eliminator. First up though, it's down to the start line for round one of the Top Doorslammers.
Yeah, Top Doorslammers brought to you by Superformance. This is the compulsory seeding round about to happen. And coming out on screen right now is Shane Elcoate from Gladstone, driving that magnificent 41 Willys, taking on the 1957 Ford Custom line of Troy Critchly.
Troy Critchly having his last race meeting for the Castrol team before heading overseas. He's going to the United States of America. Well, what about the Elcoates? They've put a new supercharger on this car. It's come to life. Was already run 6.50 this afternoon. They're currently number one qualifier, would you believe? Critchly will have to throw everything at him. And, well, Elcoates, have they got anything left?
Well, they're trying pretty hard. That 41 Willys really looking magnificent. Away they go. The 57 custom line. The Willys going well. It's Elcoate. Through he goes. 6:41, 340 kilometres an hour.
6:41. He is number one qualifier. The quickest that car's ever gone. Fantastic performance. 212 miles an hour under the old scheme. Well, Top Doorslammer coming to life here for Superformance at round one of the Castrol New Year Series. It's Peter Kapiris from Victoria up against Peter Gratz in his comeback meeting in the Valvoline 57 Chevrolet.
The Pennzoil Statesman out of Victoria, Peter Kapiris. What a great looking race car this one is, Rob.
Certainly is, and what about the work from Peter Gratz and his crew? They have been working day and night for weeks on end to put this car back together. A fireball back in August destroyed it. They've been waiting on new parts from the USA, and here they are, ready to take on the best there is in Top Doorslammer. He ran pretty well this afternoon. This is a compulsory qualifying round. ANDRA, the Australian National Drag Racing Association, trialling a new 3-round system just in Doorslammer. It's on trial. All the cars run here at 6 o'clock for this first round, and they all come back later on tonight.
Well, 6:41 is the time they're chasing to date, so Peter Kapiris and Peter Gratz. Two Peters are about to do battle down the quarter mile. Pennzoil up against Valvoline here tonight at the Castrol New Year Drag Racing Series.
It's the Oil Wars in Superformance Top Doorslammer, and a problem for Kapiris. That car is very untidy. Gratz looks quick. 6:43, a great run, 350.7 kilometres an hour. That puts him into the number 2 qualifying spot, and after all the work, the crew are delighted.
Michael King now in the Krieger Performance Commodore. He's having his first pass tonight down the quarter mile against Victor Bray in the Castrol 57 Chevy.
And there's around 15,000 fans packed into Willowbank Raceway for round one of the Castrol New Year Series to see if Castrol's Victor Bray can come out on top of the American Scotty Canon. First though, he has to try and get a better qualifying position. He has been struggling this afternoon. Michael King, it's great to see him back in the Krieger Performance Commodore. He's had a little bit of a layoff.
Yeah, had a few, hasn't had the greatest season, but great to see him back with us again. But gee whiz, these times are so important in qualifying. That 6:41 earlier on from Shane Elcoate still stands. We saw a great pass there from Peter Gratz, but Victor Bray, he's the one who needs to get a good time this time round.
Conditions a little bit hot, a little bit humid here at Willowbank Raceway, but it's been done. 6:41, 6:43. Can Victor get back into those 6.3s, maybe even 6.2? It's a lot quicker than King. King is really starting to come back now. Look at this. 6:52 for Bray. That leaves him back in, number 4 position at the moment. Victor's a little way off the pace. Michael King still there, but still to come. Scotty Canon, Andrew Searle, there's a few left in this.
Yeah, Andrew Searle and Scotty Canon, our American visitor. So what a race this time. Andrew Searle, he's a real bucks down racer, does it really the hard way, but he's had a good season around Australia so far in this tour.
This is the first time that Andrew Searle's done the complete tour, right over to Ravenswood Raceway in Perth. He's run Adelaide International, Calder Park in Victoria along with Heathcote. Here he is now at Willowbank in the Acme Fiberglass Supplies custom line, and he is racing against one of the best in the world, Scotty Canon in the OnSat 1953 Studebaker.
Yeah, Scotty Canon is the name synonymous with top Doorslammers right throughout the world. Held the world record. He and Victor Bray, of course, have had great rivalry off the track, I guess you could say, on paper. But this time giving him the opportunity to race in Australia up against Andrew Searle. That time we're chasing that 6:41. That's the number 1 qualifier.
Yes, Shane Elcoate, number 1 at the moment with a 6:41. Can Scotty Canon come back? He's currently qualified number 3. Out they come. Andrew Searle was in front for about a car length, but now look at the American fly. 6:41.0. He is top qualified by 6,000ths of a second, just in front of Shane Elcoate. The US is showing the way at the moment. Scotty Canon, number 1 qualifier. 1 car left to go.
Yeah, 9 in all contesting top Doorslammer here tonight at Willowbank Raceway. And Lucky Belleri, I think originally Holden
Commodore, that's right, and had a little bit of a shove, a chop top, a slope the windscreen. Let's drop the bonnet a little bit more, and she is now a 500 cubic inch Chrysler powered Holden Commodore, capable of 6 seconds at over 200 mile an hour, over 320 kilometres an hour. Reset the tacho. Oh, just a little bit of technical adjustment there from the crew chief on the tacho. But Lucky Belleri, he is currently number 9 qualifier. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants to step up.
Yeah, so the Holden qualifier winding it up now. Lucky Belleri at the wheel. Let's wait and see what sort of a time he runs. 6:98, 302 kilometres an hour.
That'll leave Belleri in number 9 spot in Top Doorslammer. Well, stay with us after the break. There's plenty more great action. Welcome back to Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98 as we move into round 1 of Top Comp Eliminator from round 1 of the Castrol New Year Series.
Yes, John Moll and Daryl Woods, the first pairing to come forward.
Top Comp, of course, for supercharged cars, be they sedans, dragsters, funny cars, whatever. If they run a supercharger on the engine, can qualify quicker than 8.3 seconds. They're eligible for Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator, and they run on a handicap system.
So John Moll there getting ready in the Holden Commodore. to take on the Ford of Woods.
Ford versus Holden action as usual. Woods with his handicap start. Now John Mole has the job of trying to chase him down. Big engine in the Holden, starting to make some ground, but no, Woods has got him first.
Yes, gets through first. 8:49 takes the win. The next pairing now, Scott Leahey running for competition performance in the Commodore. And
he had a very good performance at the last round, at the last Wild Bunch event here at Willowbank Raceway. He's up against Rolly Leahey in this Nostalgia Dragster. 392 Chrysler Hemi engine, which I believe was built in 1958.
yes, certainly a great
Looks
era.
like some leakage out of that though, Paul. Look at the fluid under the front of the car as he starts to back up. That'll be a problem for Leahey, I think.
So the stewards will check that out, and they're doing that about now, pointing it out, so he won't be allowed to run. And disappointment there for Rolly Leahey, telling him to shut it down.
Looked like a loose fuel fitting or something like that. Scott Leahey gets a solo. He's got the easy win, but it looks like he's not going to take it too easy. Driving the competition performance car through the lights, 801, 269 kilometres an hour.
So we'll see him next time. This is Kevin Campbell, the pink stuff Ford Coupe. And what a magnificent race car this car is.
Running a supercharged small block Chevy engine up against Dean McLennan, a big Chrysler-powered Castrol funny car.
Yeah, the Castrol funny car there, taking on this hot rod of Kevin Campbell's. But Dean McLennan running this car for a few months now, really coming to grips with it pretty well.
He has been doing a good job behind the wheel of this car. The handicap will apply here. Dean McLennan to do the chasing. Kevin Campbell in the Scott and Campbell pink stuff hot rod. He'll get out first. Let's see if McLennan can catch him. That's a pretty handy lead for Campbell.
Yeah, charging hard at him now. The Castrol car coming through, takes the win. Yes, 7:30, 295 mile an hour for the funny car.
That'll certainly make all of the Castrol representatives here very happy today. Steve Swinscoe next up in the Oldsmobile funny car, up against Debbie Reed.
Yeah, Debbie Reed in the rear engine dragster there. This race car has been running fairly ordinary this afternoon, I think it's fair to say, in qualifying. She's had a few problems with the car, but she's got a great race in front of her this time, taking on Steve Swinscoe.
Yeah, Debbie wasn't too happy with qualifying. It wasn't running its normal 6-second performances. She hopes she's fixed the problem here, but she's left too soon. A red light on the tree for Debbie Reed means that Steve Swinscoe in the funny car's got an automatic win. Reed's there first. It doesn't matter. Swinscoe's the winner.
Yeah, 7:89 he is, and if we continue on now, and a big burnout coming up this time from Graham Porter from Toowoomba, running the Ragged Edge dragster.
Number one qualifier was Graham Porter in the 6-second zone, up against John Payne, the guy that won the series last year.
Yeah, had a pretty good season so far, but in qualifying this afternoon, John Payne's had some problems with the gearbox in the race car. But Graham Porter in the rear engine rail. John Payne, a great race coming up this time. Wreckers Hotline bringing us the first round of Top Comp.
These cars running on this handicap system, the racers nominate their own handicap time. If you run quicker than it, it's called a breakout. Porter's coming at him. Payne across the line first, and I think I've hexed him. He's breaking out. Porter gets the win.
Russell Schaffer out of Caloundra now coming up. The Caloundra Wreckers dragster taking on Scott Jansen in the HQ Holden.
I don't think HQs were designed to go that fast when General Motors made them back in 72 I think it was. But Scott Jansen with fuel-injected, supercharged, small block Chevy in the sedan, and Russell Schaffer, big block Chevrolet, I think around 450 cubic inches for him.
Rob, this is a great example of what Top Comp's all about. The sedan against the dragster. The sedan's going pretty well. What's the dragster charging at him now? Oh, going pretty well. I think it'll be the dragster. Yes, it is. Russell Schaffer, an 801, 232 kilometres an hour.
The Australian Top Doorslammer Championship is conducted over 8 rounds Australia-wide each year. For the 1997 season, the Australian National Drag Racing Association decided to trial a new format of racing. This was to be done at the 5 events through December-January that make up the international tour with visiting American racers. With the cancellation of the Eastern Creek round of the championship, Willowbank Raceway's Castrol New Year Series round is the 4th leg of this trial. Drag racing is traditionally conducted as a series of elimination rounds, the same as a tennis tournament, with eventually just 2 competitors left to fight out a final for the ultimate reward. Andra's trial system involves all competitors racing in the first round to determine their ultimate pairings, and then all returning to contest the second round. This is where the big difference comes in though. Rather than all the winners proceeding to the next round of racing, the 2 fastest winners go straight to the final. The next 2 fastest winners contest a consolation final to decide 3rd and 4th. All the others are finished for the night. Really, everything hinges on quick elapsed time in the second round. All other performances are irrelevant. It's fair to say that racer and spectator reaction to the trial system has been very mixed. It certainly means the cars appear on the track more during the main part of the event, but fans have struggled to understand what's going on, particularly when their favourite driver wins both his races but is suddenly out of the running. As to whether this trial format has a future, Australian champion Victor Bray considers that the jury is still out.
Well, we started off over in Perth, and I suppose I was a little bit dubious about what, changing away from something you've been doing for years and years. But and had a few little problems, but Andrew's seen fit to change a couple of the critical points of it. The qualifying now all counts towards the final rounds and stuff. And no, I think it's got a lot of potential for the future. I suppose what has to happen now is that Andrew and all the rule makers have to sit down with the races. We just have to chew through how it went. Everybody's pretty much seen it go. It was a trial, and we'll just see where we head in the future.
This trial format certainly affected the ultimate results at round 1 of the Castrol New Year Series. Second qualifier Shane Elcoate missed the top spot by just 0.06 of a second, but a problem in the second round against Sydney's Lucky Belleri meant he went home without $1 of prize money after being the slowest loser from the second round. Likewise, Belleri was out of the running with too slow a time. Andrew Searles won many a race through tenacity, but despite defeating Australian Nationals winner Peter Kapiris, his fighting 6.74 second run wasn't quick enough to make the big money run. In his comeback meeting after fireballing his car, Peter Gratz won both his runs, including this one against Troy Critchly in his last race for the Castrol team. But Gratz missed the final by 0.05 of a second. Let's pick up the action on the start line to see how the 2 finalists did get there.
So Victor Bray now on the 57 Chevy for Castrol, taking on Michael King driving the Krieger Performance Commodore. Superformance bringing us top Doorslammer action here at the Castrol New Year Drag Racing Series.
Yeah, it's interesting how the pairing sometimes work. These 2 guys faced each other in the compulsory seeding round at 6 o'clock, and they've drawn each other again in this racing round to determine who are the 2 finalists to go into that big money final. Not only do you have to win, but you have to be one of the 2 quickest cars from the round. Michael King knows he's up against it. He'll throw everything he's got at it. Victor Bray needs something out of the hat here. Peter Gratz has already run 650. He has to run something in the 640s if he wants to make the final.
So the Commodore up against the 57 Chevy, waiting now. Away they go. A good start there. Victor Bray's got the foot flat into it. It's the time he's chasing this time. Through he goes. What's he run? A 6:45, 351 kilometres an hour.
That'll put him there. He's one of the finalists. Peter Gratz is now hanging on by the fingernails. If Scotty Canon can run quicker than 6:50, Canon will go into the final beside Victor Bray. That's what Victor's been after for, I don't know, Paul, 5 years. He's wanted to race Gratz at home in front of his own crowd.
Yeah, that's the whole aim of the exercise. We said earlier about Victor Bray being responsible, of course, for bringing Scotty Canon to Australia. So it's the time he's chasing this time. Just a magnificent race car, this 53 Studebaker.
Fantastic action so far in Superformance, top Doorslammer, and this 3-round system has provided a bit of a curveball to it all, I guess. Canon is on a bye run. Normally he could have the advantage of just cruising down the track, but a win's not good enough here. He has to run quicker than Peter Gratz's 6:50 if he wants to go to that final besides Victor Bray.
So his crew there just being careful and helping him to stage the Studebaker, waiting now for the lights to tumble down. He puts the...
He's gone through. He's gone across the start line twice. That's actually against the rules, Paul. But guess what? He's on a solo. There's no one in the other lane. So every race has to be, I don't know, I guess it's unbelievable he's got away with it, because if there was a racer in the other lane, he'd be disqualified and the win would be handed over. But he's on a solo. That's what he gets for top qualifying, I guess. He had that little bit of a get out of jail.
Yeah, got the opportunity that time round. So this time he's put the foot flat to the floor. The onset Studebaker winding it up. The time he's chasing.
6.4. 6.43, he's done it. He needed to do a 6.4. Have a look at this back on the start line. That's what happened. He brought the revs up and the things jumped across. Bit of discussion amongst the officials there, but guess what? He's into the final. He'll run against Victor Bray.
The Aussie Invader is Australia's only jet dragster, so you might be forgiven for thinking that the Americans hold the advantage here with all the lap time and competition experience that they have at their disposal. However, when you consider that Rosco McGlashen holds the current Australian land speed record at a blistering 650 mile an hour, you soon realise that a driver of that calibre is going to even up the odds. Obviously, Rosco is not running his land speed record car tonight. His jet dragster Aussie Invader 1 is not quite up to the speed capabilities of Aussie Invader 3, which currently holds the land speed record at 850 kilometres an hour. And although not on record, he has clocked in at a staggering 1,040 kilometres an hour. Tonight, however, he'll be taking things just a little slower, as these jet dragsters produce speeds close to 400 kilometres an hour down the quarter mile. Unlike the more conventional seating enjoyed by Rosco, Joe Brown runs a funny car jet design which sees him literally strapped to the side of an engine capable of producing 8,500 pounds of thrust. Well, if the sheer power and force of these vehicles hasn't impressed you yet, just wait until you see the fire show.
And if it's fire show you want, that's what we'll get, I think, both of these cars. It's the afterburners that produce all that thrust. We pick up the jet action in round 2. They always look better under lights at night. Joe Brown with the Arizona Outlaw, the funny car, up against the quickest Aussie on earth, Rosco McGlashen. Have a look at that, Paul.
Yeah, great excitement out here at the moment. Our announcing booth starting to shake as the afterburners are really lighting up the sky out here tonight.
These cars, they will build the thrust. They really wind these J34 Westinghouse jet engines up. They little pops of the supercharger to get the thrust up. They need them right on full thrust when they leave the start line. Rosco McGlashen leads this match race at the moment 1-0. He won the first race. Look at the smoke out of McGlashen's car. Brown starting to edge forward, still popping this afterburner for McGlashen.
Both cars are staged, waiting now. The light's about to tumble down. Look at McGlashen's car. Joe Brown in there beside him. Away they go. It's the Chevy's going pretty well. The old 57 Chevy winding up. Rosco McGlashen side by side. 7:34, 3:55 to Joe Brown.
Well, Brown levels the score. It's 1-1 in the Travel Air Tours International Jet Challenge. And I tell you what, I think the crowd got their money's worth there.
So for Wreckers Hotline now, the second round of Top Comp Eliminator. Steve Swinscoe in the funny car.
Swinscoe's been doing a very good job with this car. He's a little bit of a Bucksdown racer, runs a big block Chevy in the car, loves his drag racing, has been at every Top Comp meeting, I think, since it started, and, currently leads the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Series for 1998.
So the supercharged engine there, presenting plenty of horsepower. And Steve Swinscoe will be running through on his own. The Plumber's Toy, the name of this funny car. And as you can see, even though it's a by run, getting those tyres nice and sticky, they need to do that, of course, to get the cars to go straight out here tonight at Willowbank. The crew just showing that the parachute is all in place.
Yes, the teams run a safety clip through the parachute so it doesn't fall out during the burnout or anything. And the crew, what you'll see, they'll pull that pin out, show it to the driver so he's got the confidence that the chute will work when he goes through the finish line at, 277 kilometres an hour.
Graham Porter in the Ragged Edge dragster back here in the second round, taking on Scott Leo. This is the Competition Performance Commodore.
Leo for the sedan ranks, I guess. Graham Porter with the open cars. They meet on an equal footing in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator because of this dial your own handicap system. Porter was the number 1 qualifier. He'll do the chasing. Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, there's a huge crowd into Willowbank tonight for this first round of the Castrol New Year Series. Those stands are full.
Yeah, full of fans looking for close racing, and that's what we've got here as the Commodore takes on the rail. The Commodore gets away first, the Ragged Edge rail to do the charging. Scott Leo's out in front. Can he hold it all the way? Graham Porter's coming at him. Yes, Leo, 812, 254 kilometres an hour.
Have a look at this on the Wreckers Hotline replay. There's only fractions in it. That's what you win by in Top Comp Eliminator. That went right to the wire.
Russell Schaffer from Caloundra now on the rear engine drag to the Castrol funny car in the other lane with Dean McLennan at the wheel.
Russell Schaffer used to run very competitively in Modified Eliminator. Now he's moved up into Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. Up against Dean McLennan. McLennan come from a sedan car background, but now running for Castrol in the Castrol Top Comp funny car.
Yeah, both of these guys, in fact, are a good example of what happens in drag racing. You come up through the ranks, and both, as Robert said, have stepped up their machines. The Castrol funny car there coming into the lights. You'll just see the lights come on the screen, but Russell Schaffer in beside him. It's all... Away they go, the Castrol funny car to chase. He's got a hard chase on his hands this time.
Red light there for Schaffer. He's thrown it away. Dean McLennan gets an easy win in the end at 8.66, and the Castrol crew love it too. Tanya Campbell's down in the pits with one local racer we're about to lose overseas.
Well-known drag racing identity Rhett Lockey is the current Australian champion in comp bike, and this tonight has been his swan song race as he moves on in his career to become the engine builder for the Suzuki Superbike team.
Yeah, that's right, Tanya. I've got a good job there with Suzuki for the World Superbike team as an engine builder for Peter Goddard.
And how did that all come about?
Well, I was over to South Africa doing some work for Paul Feeney Motorcycles, my current employer. I met Peter Goddard there. I told him I was looking for a career in World Superbikes. I got back the next day, he rang me up and offered me a job with his team.
Well, we're certainly going to miss you in drag racing circles, but all the best for your new career.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Supercomp has been one of the toughest fields out here this evening, so you've got to be really serious about your racing to tow all the way from Townsville to be a part of it. And that's just what Robert Cannon has done, and he's made it through to the semi-finals. They've had a lot of problems along the way, and keep an eye on this car when it runs because it hasn't gone straight once.
They certainly have had a few hand problems off the start line, but Rob Cannon and his brake mark crew have been flat out in the pits to try and get on top of it. They're up against Ian Nielsen now in the semi-final of Headset Cylinder Head Super Comp Eliminator. And Paul, this is going to be a tough race.
Yeah, tough race. Rob Cannon's pretty tough racer. Ian Nielsen from down on the Gold Coast in the Holden Tirana. Both lights are about to run down and away they go.
Big handicap chase again. Cannon's after him. The cars are loose, little bit loose. It's very loose. Wants to head for the centre line. Nielsen will drive it through. 9.32, 229 kilometres an hour. He goes to the final.
Yes, the Headsense Cylinder Head Super Comp semi-final. That's John Sting on screen at the moment and Jai Sluter in beside him.
John Sting was number one qualifier. He's picked up the Headset Cylinder Head's bonus for top qualifying. If he can win the race as well, he picks up the jackpot, and I think he puts another $200 or $300 in his pocket. So you can guarantee that Sting will do everything he's got at Jai Sluter. Sluter in the Falcon is running in the A-modified sedan class. He's going to get a big handicap start, Paul.
Yeah, big chase coming up this time round. Sluter showing a lot of confidence there as he prepares to take on John Sting. This car, a pretty new race car of John Sting's.
Listen to the revs build up. Away goes Jai Sluter. Now John Sting gets a green light. He's got a big chase on his hands, a bit of flashing out of the pipes. I think Sting's in trouble. Sluter will get there 9.85 and his crew love it.
Jai, into the finals. Has it been an easy run for you?
It's been relatively easy so far, but let's just hope for the best. We can only try our best, and just like to thank Jeff Dell from the Converter Shop and Phil and Steve Jack from Jack Brothers and all the family. Without them, it just wouldn't be possible. Thanks.
Well, here at round one of the Castrol New Year Series, it's Dean McLennan in the Castrol funny car to take on Steve Swinscoe in the semi-final of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. And I think this is the first time we've seen two funny cars side by side in Top Comp.
Yeah, it certainly has been, and Swinscoe's got a hard one this time up against Dean McLennan.
McLennan for the Castrol team, and there's plenty of Castrol representation here tonight, that's for sure. And of course, Steve Swinscoe, he's running out of his own pocket at the moment, but I've got an idea, so that big white space on the side of his car is intended for an advertiser.
Swinscoe leads first, McLennan doing the chasing in the Castrol car. Who'll get there first? Hard to pick it. It's Swinscoe. McLennan breaks out.
Steve, a breakout by Dean has given you a berth into the finals. You're a little bit off your dial in there. How do you think you'll go?
Well, that's the best part about dial your own racing. At least I'm off a bit, I can dial back and have plenty of chance to win.
Fairly confident there from Steve Swinscoe. He'll be up against Scott Leahey in the final. Leo's got a solo pass and he's elected just to do the minimum. He's going to wheel the car into the start line beam. There it is. He's accepted the start. He's a winner. He doesn't have to do a run. He'll just, I think, shut it off, back it out, and he's going to be ready for the final of Top Comp. As now we go into all the support category finals. First up, it's Performance Wholesale Lenati Junior Dragster, Diana Harker in the Harker Transport car, up against Mark Allen in the Knight Family Motorsport Junior Dragster. This is great for the kids, Paul.
Yeah, great. We had a big field of junior dragsters running tonight out here at Willowbank Raceway. Mark Allen here taking on Diana Harker. Here they go. They're under about half track. Diana Harker gets away first. Mark Allen to do the chasing.
These cars are capable over 100 kilometres an hour in the half track. This will be close in the end. Mark Allen gets it, 973, 102 kilometres an hour in Junior Dragster. Modified bike eliminator for Pipe Masters Motorcycle Exhaust, Steve Jerkinson with a bye run in the final. His opponent unfortunately did some damage in the semi, was unable to front, so Steve Jerkinson takes out Pipe Masters Motorcycle Exhaust Modified Bike Eliminator.
As we continue on now, the next final to come up is Superformance Super Street Final. It's Shade Rompf and Shane taking on Vance Nevins in the Falcon.
Holden Tirana up against the Ford Falcon, handicap racing all the way. Nevins with a red light. I think Shane Rumpf should romp this one in, so to speak, in the Tirana. They are going to drive it on through, but that's the way it works. Rumpf with a 12.19 takes out Superformance Super Street.
The final coming up now, Craigie Performance Super Sedan final. Darren Piddington there in the Ford Escort and taking on the Valiant.
John Widgery in the Valiant and Darren Piddington all the way down from Rockhampton. Craigar Performance Super Sedan, another dial your own category. Widgery out first. Here comes Piddington. This is going to be a pretty close run thing, I think. Widgery hanging on. Piddington with him. Widgery by the barest margin, 10.72.
Kenlow Race Cars Modified final. Dave Ferricks out of Rockhampton driving the dragster up against the Alden of Ron Smith.
Well, two Rockhampton drivers in the finals. We just saw Darren Piddington go down. Can Dave Ferricks in the Piranha Insurance's dragster get around Ron Smith? He'll have to do the chasing. There goes Smith. Here comes Dave Ferricks. Smith gets out of there, and I think Ferricks is going to mow him down on the line. 8.35, 240 kilometres an hour. That's the support finals. Look at this for motorcycles. It's Morgan and Wacker Comp Bike Eliminator. That was Fabio Crystal. Here's Gavin Spann, the number one qualifier.
Yeah, good race coming up this time. Gavin Spann, Fabio Crystal, both season races out here at Willowbank Raceway. Both staging their bikes. The light's about to run down. Fabio gets away first. Gavin Spann to chase him. Fabio's out there. Here comes Gavin Spann. Is it going to be good enough?
Oh, look at the speed from Spann Suzuki, 742, 267 kilometres an hour. And the fans in the stands, they're waiting for that big final. It's coming up after the break on Drag Racing 98.
Hi, I'm Rosco McGlashen, the fastest Aussie on earth. Stay watching Wreckers Hotline, Drag Racing 98.
We'll see Rosco a little bit later on in this segment, but first up it's a final of head-sent cylinder head Super Comp Eliminator. Ian Nielsen up against Jai Sluter. Holden Tirana up against the Ford hardtop. Handicap still applies, Sluter to get the start.
Waiting now on both cars to move in their final staging. The Falcon takes on the Holden. The Falcon away first. Nielsen in the Tirana to chase him down the quarter mile. Here he comes now, starting to wind it up. Sluter, Nielsen.
Nielsen gets it 9:36, 2:27.
Ian, it doesn't get any closer than that. You took him just at the line by 33 thousandths of a second.
Right, yeah. Look, I've seen on the scoreboards we left together, and it was just a matter of pedaling, and yeah, we just got him in.
Final now of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. Steve Swinscoe, he won the last round of this series. Can he take out Scott Leo? We are at round one of the Castrol New Year Series, Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland, and these supercharged cars are putting on a big show for a huge 15,000 strong crowd.
So the Oldsmobile Funny Car taking on the Holden Commodore of competition performance, Scott Leo.
Swinscoe has, he's been a little bit off the pace. We heard him speak to Tanya Campbell, said the beauty of it is you can change your dial in and slow down your handicap time if you need to. But I notice he hasn't. He's taken the punt that the car will run as quick as he thought it would in qualifying this afternoon. Leo's been on the money, and I guess he's got the advantage of not having run the car in the semi-clean greens together. The funny car's trying to peg back the sedan. I don't know whether he can do it. This will be close, right on the wire. It's Scott Leo, 8:03. That was an incredibly close run. Have a look at this on the Wreckers Hotline replay. These cars are wheel to wheel to the line.
Nothing in it at all, 8.03, and the big win there going to
Scott Leo.
Scott, it's been a night of close finishes, and you have just taken out the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator by 25 thousandths of a second.
It was a tough race. The last with Graham and Steve, they were both really tough races. All I can say is the crew that worked on the SL Race Fabrications car, they just did the marvellous job. Best job they could have ever done tonight, and it's just been consistent all night. Yeah.
It's time now to update the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship scoreboards. In Performance Wholesale Lunati Junior Dragster, final round performances by Mark Allen and Diana Harker have moved both of those into the top 5, but it's still headed up by Jodana Pullen. In Superformance Super Street Eliminator, Ross Munster maintains his lead, but Paul DeBlane and Ray Ross are breathing down his neck. In Pipe Masters Motorcycle Exhaust Modified Bike, Fabio Crystal and Scott Jurgensen are locked together at the top of the heap. Craigar Performance Super Sedan likewise sees a close battle with Aaron Gregory and John Widgery right together on 100 points. Kenlow Racecars Modified Eliminator and Dave Ferrix's win moves him into equal first place with Arthur Telford. In Morgan and Wacker Harley Davidson Comp Bike Eliminator, John Parker continues to lead his sponsors bracket. Rhett Lockheed has just retired after tonight, so it'll be up to Fabio Crystal and Gavin Spann to put the pressure on. In Super Comp Eliminator, Jai Sluter, 125 points, just ahead of Colin Lloyd and Ian Nielsen. In Wreckers Hotline Top Comp, Steve Swinscoe, 2 finals from 2 starts, and he's got a handy lead from Scott Leo and John Payne. Time now for the big one, the final of Superformance Top Doorslammer, Victor Bray against Scotty Canon. Burnout war between these two. You know that Victor Bray wants Canon and he wants him very, very badly.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing out there, that we're going to give it absolutely everything we got on this run. I've raced Scotty 3 times in the National Championship Series throughout Australia. The score's currently 2-1, so I'll in his favour. So I'll just leave it up to your mind to work out how hard I'm going to push on this final pass.
Well, I think he is very keen, Paul.
Yeah, the opportunity to take on Scotty Canon in front of his hometown fans is what he's been waiting for. So what a final we've got coming up here now. Victor Bray looking there, very confident. Marie tendering to his chores there. The on-sat car, driven of course by the American champion Scotty Canon.
I think there's a couple of hundred people, guests of Castrol here at this meeting that will be willing on Victor Bray, along with 15,000 Australians in the stands. I don't know how many Americans are here, but he is up against the toughest of the tough, Scotty Canon. He is, well, these two traded the world record back and forwards across the Pacific. Listen to the revs come up. This is throw everything at the racetrack and hope it handles it. Big hole shot, a great start for Bray. He's in front. Look at Canon. Canon's level. Bray's got him. 6:51, 3:48. The crowd go up, and what a result for the Aussies.
We let him. We got him on the line.
Victor, when it comes to close racing, we can always count on you for the best. 6:51 took the win against a 6:49 on the hole shot.
Oh, love it. Absolutely fantastic. There she go, buddy. She quit the top end or something, did she?
Yeah, it burned a piston.
Have a look at this on the Wreckers Hotline replay. Victor Bray grabbed a big jump off the start line, Paul, but Scotty Canon was coming right back at him.
Yeah, charging hard, side-by-side action. It was around about there that Victor got the advantage right on the line.
Well, as finals go, Victor, there won't be anybody that doesn't leave this racetrack happy tonight.
No, that's great, including me. And I just want to say to all the fans out there that tonight I was racing for a friend of ours at the drags here, a bloke with the name of Wayne Black. He couldn't actually drag race for a few medical reasons, raised an awful lot of money and got for all us drag races over the last 5 or 10 years, got us to a lot of meetings and saved us a lot. Wayne, thanks a lot. He passed away a couple of weeks ago, and Wayne's for your family. Thank you very much. This one's for you.
Well, I know Wayne's probably looking down on this with a smile on his face by now. Victor Bray, a little bit emotional there. Not only has he beaten Scotty Canon, but he's looked after a friend. Well, it's time now for this final decider in the Travel Air Tours International Jet Challenge. The fastest Aussie on earth, Australian land speed record holder Rosco McGlashen up against Joe Brown in the Arizona Outlaw. And it's 1-1. This will be the decider, Paul.
Yeah, these jets are absolutely sensational out here at Willowbank Raceway. There's light up the sky as they're doing right now.
Well, I tell you what, sounds more like Amberley than it does Willowbank right at the moment. What a way to see out the first round of the Castrol New Year Drag Racing Series. Of course, there's another two to come through January and February. We'll bring you all of those highlights on Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. But first up, this final of the Travel Air Tours International Jet Challenge. And the crowd just love these cars. The noise, the smoke, the flame.
So Rosco McGlashen, they're really popping the afterburner there. The 57 Chevy from Arizona in the United States to chase him down the quarter mile. Those jets are really screaming at the present time.
McGlashen's got a lot of smoke. I think he's got a problem. The afterburner igniter's gone out. If he was in a fighter, he'd be reaching for the eject button by now. Joe Brown red-lighted, would you believe? McGlashen takes the series anyway. Look at the smoke. They've smoked us in here at Willowbank Raceway. What a way to see out the first round of the Castrol New Year Series for 98. Have a look at our starter on the replay. Don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information about Willowbank Raceway, we're on the internet at the address on the screen now. We'd like to very much thank Wreckers Hotline for making this television show possible, and of course the assistance of Castrol.